You know that feeling, right? Like you're just constantly running on that financial treadmill. You work hard, you save money, but then you just watch its value kind of slowly, quietly
They're
disappear.
just eroding away.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
maybe, some unexpected challenge just hits you out of nowhere, and suddenly the ground feels like it's crumbling under your feet financially.
Mm.
That pressure, the anxiety that
Mm.
comes with the traditional financial system, it's real for so many people. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating story. It offers a completely different perspective, actually, on navigating like extreme financial difficulty.
Huh.
It's about finding a path back to, well, to regaining agency. And maybe surprisingly, Bitcoin is right at the center of it.
Right. And this isn't just, one person's struggle. It really serves as a kind of powerful parable, I think, for anyone looking to reclaim some control in what feels like a really uncertain financial world.
Yeah.
So the material we're drawing on today, it's from a piece called Bitcoin, A Personal Escape from Fiat Collapse. And we're really focusing in on the personal journey, the insights shared by David Branscum within that.
David Branscum.
Yeah. He lays out a really compelling case for a different kind of financial way of thinking.
So, our mission for you, the listener, is really to unpack David's journey. I mean, it sounds incredible. How did he go from what financial collapse to becoming, he calls himself unemployable?
In the traditional sense.
Right, in the traditional sense. What core insights did he get about Bitcoin, about the fiat system, and there's this specific technology you mentioned, immersion cooling?
Immersion cooling, exactly. We'll get into that.
Okay. And maybe most importantly, what can you take away from his pretty radical transformation? Let's jump in.
Okay, so David Branscom's story, it starts somewhere maybe a lot of us can unfortunately relate to, a personal financial crisis.
Mm-hmm. This was pre-COVID, right? Yeah, pre-COVID, he lost contracts, debt just piled up, credit cards specifically. And, at 38 years old, he found himself delivering pizzas just to provide for his family.
Wow, that's tough.
He talks about it openly, says it was a huge ego hit. But interestingly, he also found this sort of surprising value in just being productive again, doing something.
Right, and what's really crucial here, I think, is how he connected that personal struggle to this bigger idea he calls the fiat trap.
The fiat trap. Okay.
Yeah, he felt like saving cash, regular money was just like running in place. No matter how hard he saved, inflation was always eating away at it.
Uh-huh.
So to him, it felt like a guaranteed loss. Like the system itself was kind of designed to work against him, not for him.
That feeling,
Yeah.
gosh, that feeling of your hard-earned money just slowly losing its punch, its purchasing power over time. I think a lot of people can probably relate to that frustration, can't they?
Absolutely resonates.
So, okay, what was the turning point for David? What actually sparked the shift from just, survival mode delivering pizzas to something totally new?
Well, the catalyst, it seems, came when someone introduced him to Bitcoin mining, and specifically to this technology called immersion cooling.
Ah, there it is again.
Yep. And apparently this introduction just completely transformed him pretty quickly. It made him orange-pilled. That's the term they use in the Bitcoin world, right?
Right, like taking the red pill in the Matrix, but for Bitcoin.
Exactly. It means becoming deeply convinced, really committed to Bitcoin's philosophy, its potential. So what started as just maybe curiosity,
Uh-huh.
it rapidly turned into this deeply personal mission for him. He wanted to actively opt out of the traditional fiat system, and he decided to dedicate his whole career, his whole focus, to Bitcoin.
Wow. So this wasn't just like an intellectual thing for him, was it? He didn't just read a white paper and decide, okay, how did he actually do it? How did he translate that commitment into action?
No, definitely not just intellectual. He really embraced a hands-on approach. And I mean, really hands-on.
Okay.
He actually went and worked for free at these off-grid Bitcoin mining sites, just completely immersing himself, learning the practical side of things.
Working for free. Wow. Okay. So real dedication there.
Huge dedication. And that practical, boots on the ground experience was absolutely critical. It eventually led him to manage an 8-megawatt mining project.
8 megawatts. That sounds significant.
Oh, it's massive. That's a huge amount of power dedicated just to mining. So mining became both his main way of learning and his concrete path to getting back on his feet financially.
That really shows how learning by doing can work, doesn't it?
Totally. It shows how his sort of self-education in energy, in mining, in finance, all combined with, as he put it, grit and curiosity, allowed him to just completely pivot, turn that crisis into a real opportunity.
Incredible. Okay, let's unpack this tech piece he highlighted, immersion cooling. You mentioned it twice now. It sounds kind of sci-fi. What exactly is it, and why was it so important for him for Bitcoin mining?
Right. It does sound a bit futuristic, but it's actually quite practical and becoming more common in high-performance computing, including mining. So immersion cooling is basically where you take the ASIC miners.
Those are the specialized computers for mining.
Exactly. The super powerful purpose-built machines. You actually submerge them directly into these special liquids called dielectric fluids.
You dunk the computers in liquid.
You dunk them. But it's a special non-conductive liquid, like a mineral oil or something engineered. Think of it like giving your really hot, hardworking computer hardware a nice, cool, non-conductive bath.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense than dunking them in water, so what's the advantage?
Well, the benefits David saw were pretty significant. First, submerging the hardware stabilizes the temperature way more effectively than just blowing air over it. This stops the components from constantly expanding and contracting with heat changes, which is really damaging over time. It wears them out.
Right, thermal stress.
Exactly. And crucially, because the cooling is so much better, it allows miners to do something called overclocking.
Pushing the hardware faster than it's designed to run?
Precisely. Running it faster, hotter, but safely because of the fluid. And that means significantly higher yields, more Bitcoin mined. So you put it
Oh.
all together, it prevents damage, allows for higher performance, and significantly extends the lifespan of that really expensive hardware. Ultimately, it just boosts profitability and efficiency. It's a real game changer for serious miners.
I can definitely see why that's a game changer, especially if you're trying to recover financially. It really drives home the practical side of what David found.
Yeah,
And the real world impact. I mean, he shared this anecdote, didn't he, about his son's braces,
he did. It's quite powerful. He mentioned a $10,000 expense for the braces,
which is a lot of money.
a huge expense for most families. But he said, because of his Bitcoin entry price, when he acquired his Bitcoin, that $10,000 cost felt like $1,600 to him.
Wow.
Now, obviously, Bitcoin's price is volatile. We all know that. But that specific example really illustrates how, for him, Bitcoin could turn what are normally these really painful, overwhelming expenses into something manageable over time.
Right.
It's like operating within a totally different value framework based on when he got in and his long-term view.
It's a different way of measuring cost, almost.
Exactly. It's a shift in financial perception.
And beyond just the numbers, the practical gains, David talked about a really profound mindset shift, didn't he?
He did.
Once he got deep into Bitcoin, he actually describes himself as becoming unemployable.
Yeah, in the traditional fiat sense.
Right. His only desire, he says, is to work within the Bitcoin ecosystem, quote, regardless of pay. That's a pretty radical statement.
It is absolutely radical.
What does that really tell us about his mindset and maybe, I don't know, about the future of work even?
Well, I think it speaks to this deep, fundamental reevaluation of what value even means and what security means.
Okay.
For David, being unemployable isn't a negative thing. It's not a limitation. It sounds like it's a liberation for him.
Right.
It means he's found a purpose, a system he believes in so strongly that the usual markers of success, a stable salary in dollars, climbing the corporate ladder, they just don't appeal anymore.
They lost their meaning for him.
Completely.
Yeah.
This dedication, it suggests a shift towards wanting autonomy, wanting to contribute to a system he feels actually aligns with his values, rather than just, earning a paycheck in the old system.
That makes sense.
And it definitely raises this fascinating question, doesn't it? How many other people might be out there looking for that same kind of agency, that same purpose in their own work lives?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. So wrapping this up, David Branscum's deep dive here, it really hammers home some core takeaways for him. Bitcoin wasn't the problem. He says it was the solution. He found it, quote, rewards good decisions, cushions bad ones. And fundamentally, it gives people back agency against fiat devaluation, that loss of purchasing power we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And I think what his journey really shows powerfully is that this idea of opting out of traditional systems, it is possible, even when you're facing, really extreme financial hardship like he was.
It's not just a theoretical idea.
Not for him, no. It's a testament to individual agency. His experience really shows that even maybe modest Bitcoin savings, if you combine that with consistency, with patience, it can genuinely, radically reshape your financial future, moving beyond just scraping by to, actual financial resilience.
So it seems like David's journey suggests that maybe true financial freedom isn't just about piling up more dollars or euros or whatever currency. Maybe it's more about choosing which system you want your effort, your savings, to actually live inside.
That's a great way to put it, choosing the system.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe, for you, the listener. What does it really mean for you to have agency over your financial future? And are there systems out there, ones you currently rely on, that might be quietly eroding that very agency, perhaps without you even realizing it? Something to think about.